Hi, this is Pastor Tim here at Grace of God, Long Island. First off, thank you for following our sermon podcast feed. What you're listening to right now is something I'll do occasionally in this feed, which I'm calling Deleted Scenes. Just like when you're making a movie or a TV show, it occasionally happens as I'm writing a sermon that it just goes too long and something needs cutting. Now generally that's because I just let myself go on and the trim material really isn't worth it. However, sometimes I find myself cutting something that I really do think would have some value in saying, but it just doesn't flow well into the rest of the sermon, or it just ends up too long. When I have a piece that I think meets that standard, you'll find it in this feed on Tuesdays as a deleted scene. Today's deleted scene comes from Sunday's message on Proverbs 9, verses 1 to 6. If you didn't listen to that, it might be worth pausing here, going to that episode in the feed, and listening before you get here. I would also recommend reading Proverbs 9, 1 to 6. In that section, we have Lady Wisdom offering this invitation to passers-by to eat at a beautiful banquet she has set out for them. This scene is a metaphor for God's invitation to us through His Word to come into the church and be fed by the gospel of Jesus. I also pointed out on Sunday that this invitation isn't individual, it's plural. Wisdom invites people in, not just one person and one person and one person. She invites people in. God calls us into community in the church. Later in Proverbs 9, there's another lady calling out an invitation to her own banquet. Proverbs 9, I'm reading starting at verse 13. Folly is an unruly woman. She is simple and knows nothing. She sits at the door of her house, on a seat at the highest point of the city, calling out to those who pass by who go straight on their way, "Let all who are simple come to my house." Lady Folly sits in the same place as Lady Wisdom, the highest point of the city. Lady Folly extends the exact same invitation. Let all who are simple come to my house. The words are exactly the same. How will you know the difference when you can't tell the difference between the invitation of folly and that of wisdom? We are called into a community in the church to help one another make that distinction. We are called into a community in the church to encourage, correct, pray for one another. When Lady Folly and Lady Wisdom are both calling your attention, you're not alone in making your decision. Lean on your brothers and sisters in Christ. Ask for their advice, their support, and above all, ask them to remind you that you are, no matter what mistakes or foolish decisions you make, you are God's forgiven child. Sins washed away in the waters of baptism. That's our sermon deleted scene today. Music is What Words Can't Describe by Vlad Gluschenko at soundcloud.com/VGL9. Thanks again for listening. Please share our podcast feed with friends, relatives, and share with them the peace that you have in forgiveness through Jesus. I'm Pastor Tim Walsh at Grace of God in Dix Hills, 510 Deer Park, just north off LIE, exit 51. Join us on Sundays at 9:30 a.m. God bless and keep you this week.